Hey, welcome to the Higher Ed AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And oh, do we have a good one for you today? I'm back in. You probably saw a bunch of the last few of the episodes have been live from ISE. Even Infocom could have been that long, and some other miscellaneous interviews. But we're back, and we're back doing interviews, and I'm really excited about this because sometimes there's people who just kind of come on your radar and get involved and have this heart and passion for the industry, and so I'm really excited to kind of kick off this series here you're going to find out. We're going to talk. And Ace, welcome to the show. Please tell people who you are and what you do, how you got into the AV industry.
Good afternoon, Joe. Thank you for having me on. My name is Ace Hazziez, and I am currently a YearUp alumni. And how I got into the AV space was pure luck, actually. After after our 6 months of learning and development end between help desk and cybersecurity, we were matched up with internships based off our experiences and our for me it felt like more of what suits you the most. And then when my program manager, when he told me I was going into Northwestern and I was going into AV, I wasn't I was excited. I was not too sure what AV was at the time. I come from a different technical background that has to do more on the software side. And then once I saw when I first got my hands in AV, when I first met Troy, I was really excited. And then when he showed me a tour of the campus and seeing different equipment across different classrooms, I was like, I thought to myself, I could do this. Not It's not something I'm too familiar with, but all I have to do is just ask questions. Just continue asking questions and taking notes, and that paid off in the long run because an industry that was completely foreign to me is now something I really really love and something I want to continue doing for the long run, for a good long while, for the rest of my life actually.
I love that. I love that. So you came in as an intern. So talk a little bit about, and I think this is important because we always talk in our industry, how do we grow it? How do we bring more people into it? And I always think higher ed is a great place for that to happen with, right? Because we're about education, we're about getting people involved. So talk about that first day. So you first walk in, kind of what did that feel like? What was your kind of learning, etc.?
My my learning for the first day, I was still a little nervous, still a little anxious, and then I got my first introductory project right off the rip. Was my assignment was to go around all through our supported classrooms, as long as there's no meetings or no classrooms involved, or excuse me, pardon my French, as long as classes are not in session or no special events or meetings occur at that time frame, my task was to look around and use the GoPro 360 camera and get a visual representation of the classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And then after getting a few classrooms knocked out and seeing some of them were occupied, moved on with the next building. For example, Annenberg, say for a class, our one of our classes at Annenberg were not available. They were booked solid. There were a lot of classes going on that day. So navigated to our next building, and then when Annenberg was a bit emptier, that's when I came in and snapped our photos.
So you go from, okay, which I think is great. You walk in, you're there, you're getting a visual overview of kind of what you have. Now, how do you get trained? So, what was your role? Were you more a support person? Did you get in and start doing the tech? What was your ultimate role?
My ultimate role was like the jack of all trades, if that's an appropriate comparison.
Hmm.
There are some day Most of the time I'm a part of a team, and I go across both campuses, both north and south, to assist them whatever is what task that's needed. For example, if one of our team members are booked solid and couldn't schedule recordings through Pronopto for our classrooms, I will go down to South Campus and help them out schedule their recordings. And for North campuses, and one of my teammates need assistance with carrying carrying equipment, installing equipment, taking tear down of equipment, I would also be across campus to help out. So I was I got a good grasp of AV, a good AV. It felt like a combination of help desk, a little bit of help desk, and learn a little bit of programming and hardware, and learn and use the soft and hard skills that I've learned from YearUp applied to our internship, helping with faculty and staff, help answering their questions.
I love that. I love that. So I want to kind of go. I want to go in with that because I think one of the things, even though AV is a technical area, I also think we're really in customer service. So what kind of lessons did you learn in dealing with customers that you're going to take on for the rest of your life?
What I learned from customer service is is to is to help is to help break break the stereotype of technicians not being friendly when they come up to you and ask you questions, or they don't understand tech. I under, to being more understanding when faculty are not too familiar with technology.
Yeah.
And how I look at it is, to me, I find it in to me, I find it and I find it I kind of find it warming and helpful that people are coming up to us and asking questions, and having us explaining and give them details and show them how technology, and show them how the equipment is being worked. That puts a smile in my mind and in my face, because that is a good sign that we're slowly breaking that rude stereotype, and we are genuine people, and we love to help people.
I love that. And by the way, if I titled episodes, which I don't, but if I did, it would be "Put a Smile on My Mind and on My Face." That is great. I absolutely love
I
that.
love
Uh,
that.
um, so, but I think you make a great point because, a lot of times, technology can, especially for a faculty member, if it's not working, it can be something of frustration. But customer service is about helping people be effective in what they want to do, right? We're all in the same goal. We want them to be effective in the class they're teaching. We want them to be able to leverage technology so that the students can learn better, right? We're all kind of on the same side, but it doesn't always come off that way when we don't have good customer service skills. So I think your idea of the way you've taken that and been said, "Hey, we're here to help. We're all in this, in this together," to say, I think is a huge, huge part of it, right? Am I wrong there?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. So now let's go to the technical side. So you said you got into some programming, but you came from kind of the computer science side. So how was that? What was that transition? Talk about like the difference in language. Like so, from that programming point of view.
From a programming point of view, I have not done too much of the programming. I have seen a good visual from our programmer with our team, when he showed me some of his code through the Crestron Toolbox software. And this will also come and what I'm about to say next will also come into play here for describing one of our projects. So seeing the code that one of my colleagues have written and upload and send to our file for our team, to help upload the correct code for the new Crestron 8x4 switchers at the time when our project was to take out the 6x2 obsolete Kramer switches and replace them with Crestron 8x4 switchers to match industry and classroom standards.
Awesome, awesome. So you jumped into that, and so did you find that you used any of your kind of? You said you kind of came from that different side of IT. Did you find that you used some of those skills in AV?
A little bit. Most of the time, most of the time I've used my more hardware hands-on experience more than my software skills. And and for me, hardware, it used to be that software was my upper advantage. Now that I've learned that I'm more of a visual learner, hardware has become from a growth area to a strength area.
Mm.
All you need to do show me show me how we upload a code. All I need to do is see an example once or twice. I get it quickly. I just adapt to it over. I just
Yeah,
quickly adapt.
I love that. I love talk a little bit about that of understanding that you had an area of weakness that now you think it's kind of a strength. Talk about that growth process. What does that take, and kind of how do you make yourself I mean, in a way, you kind of make yourself vulnerable to it, right? You have to jump in and do it. A lot of people don't like to go, "Oh, this is the area I'm not good at, so I want to stay away." And you look at it the other way, right? You said this is the area you kind of have that area of weakness that you said now is your strength. Talk to that a bit.
To be 100% honest, I was like that. I was like that before YearUp. I was a bit scared of messing stuff up. I still feel that way, but almost non-existent at this point. Mistakes happen. We're not robots. We are humans. We do make mistakes, and that's all. That's the part of life. There is no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
And how I come across going the opposite way instead of going the usual avoiding the hard stuff is I want to say thanks to a really supportive AV lead and our support and a team that really helped me out with that.
Mm. I love that. I love that. So now, so I know a little behind the scenes. We had a little call last week, which is how this came about. So I heard you were saying, you've fallen in love with kind of that integration side, right? So talk. What is it?
Yes.
What is it that draws you to that? To get your hands dirty and get into it? What is that?
One of the summer projects we worked on, one of our summer projects we worked on was I had the honor of helping tear down and rebuilding a new rack for one of our classrooms because one of the podiums had a broken wheel that was kind of was kind of for example kind of tilted like this, which was kind of an issue. So what we did is slowly, inch by inch and carefully through those painful non-velcro zip ties was to carefully cut through the ties and gather all of the equipment out of the old podium safely so we can transport it away so we can transport the broken rack. I mean the broken podium with a new podium. And we kind of played around using new velcro strips. We using the new velcro strips, and this was the perfect opportunity to replace it with the new Crestron switcher.
Mm-hmm.
I would say what got me in love with AV was building building a rack. To me, this felt it kind of felt like going back to building Legos back in the younger days, and still now to help keep my memory fresh. I think what got me into AV even more, and specifically more on the integration side, was simply was simply building. We have a we have instructions of how we have instructions on how the rack is supposed to be built, and being able to see what the rack looked like originally kind of gave me an upward advantage. That kind of helped me instantly just began helping out with installation.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So you kind of you have that one summer project, you get into it. So did you have opportunities to grow on that and do more? Like so
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Got a little
No,
excited.
go right ahead.
What opportunities I had was when we had lighter days and not and when we have lighter days, I have the opportunity to work on getting some additional certifications. Being being able to be a part of Avixa, having some Avixa, I was able to navigate through that and learning the different certifications of AV, CTS, CTSI,
Mhm.
CTSD or design.
And so you were
Learn
able, yeah.
or
So able to start. Sorry about that, but like, so able to start kind of getting in, get into your account, take some of those classes, start growing that skill set with that, and then bring that into, into use there at the university, obviously.
yes.
Yeah.
And
And
thankfully even now having this book still serves me well.
having the CTS book, I love it. And so, and I think that that's one of the kind of the cool things about us is one of the things I love about this industry is there's so many different ways you can go. Like if you love customer service and support, if you love programming, if you love integration, if you love management, if you love sales, there's so many different areas. And to be able to use a a program and an internship at a college to do that and get those goals and kind of fall in love with the industry. So talk. I kind of got a couple of things I want to go up. Talk about now. Talk to a listener who maybe has is at a different school. Why should they create such an internship program like this, like you went through?
How I look at it is I encourage interns that are in the same situation as I am, or may not even have an AV program. Is I recommend for the university or for the university portion is I recommend colleges and universities start having more AV internship opportunities like I have, so that the person so that so that the intern can quickly learn and get a hands-on experience, learn more about the AV. And unfortunately, not many people know about this lovely industry. And I'd say if more interns got exposed to audio visual, that would be a great stepping point for the industry and for new people to migrate into the industry. And as for someone that's in a similar boat, do not be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid of ask questions. Take notes. You take notes. You ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask your teammates for help because one thing my parents taught me is you they can't help anything if you don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to build that comfort to speak up and self advocate.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that thought of, hey, you know what? You're here, we're here to learn, right? And I think those people who ask the questions, who jump in and say, hey, I'm willing to get my hands dirty. Willing to run into that. And I want you to show me more are the ones that long term are really successful, not just in this industry, but in life, right? Having that kind of, never stop learning mentality. So now you've come here, you've done your internship, you've completed that, you're now in love with the industry. What do you want to do next?
I want to continue learning and working in integration.
And so you love the integration side of it.
Yes.
And so, so I guess so. You're there. I'm doing a shameless plug. So you're open to be hired. So all those integrators in the greater Chicago area, you're there. You're gonna willing to come in, be a junior, start learning, and get investment, and be there in the long term for them. Is that right?
Absolutely.
See, this is so I
Ready to
encourage,
learn.
and I think that's exactly how it should be. So I'll tell them they can reach out to you, they can reach out to me. I will connect you. But I think that one of the things I love is when we find talent who wants to learn, we can't. This is me speaking. We can't let that go to waste, right? Like so many opportunities in this industry are need someone with that heart and desire like you have. So like project in like if I here I'm going to give you a job interview. Tell me why I should hire you. So if I'm an integration company and I'm hiring, what do you bring into the table for me?
Awesome. A reason why you should hire me to be a part of your team is the ability to it's the ability to it's the ability to learn rapidly, the ability to showcase the ability to showcase all the different soft skills and hard skills and all the different experiences that I had throughout my internships, throughout everyday life that I can implement into the team. A show a show grit. I'm hungry, I'm ready to go, ready to learn, ready to take on any responsibilities, no matter how difficult or easy they might seem. I'm ready to come in early with a huge smile on my face, ready to learn, ready to just overall ready to be a team player, and I can contribute, and I can contribute a lot to I can contribute a lot to your team by implementing my experiences and different techniques that I've learned throughout my internships that I can apply to better service our end users and to increase our team flow's productivity.
I love it. That's a great answer. And I think that is an answer that's going to make you successful in the long run. And like I said, there's so much that this industry can offer and can bring to, those who want to get in and learn and grow and offer to their team. Especially, I mean, in that area, there's some great integration companies who could definitely use a skill set like yours and someone who wants to just come in and learn and grow with the company. And I think that's huge. So, and that's, by the way, it's just a little behind the scenes, everyone. That's why. So, Ace, you reached out to me and said, hey, I want to talk to you and talk about some career things, talk about HETMA and all of that. And then I said, let's throw you on the podcast because, when you have people who have that desire, you can't let it go. Our phone call is only so much, right? So if I can use this platform for you, that's what it's here for, right? Um,
Eh,
Go ahead.
Sorry
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to cut you off. And hopefully to all interns or future interns that might be listening in on this podcast can take as much advice from me as possible, and hopefully this podcast can make an impact to someone's day and to someone's career choice.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And not to
Oh, go ahead. Keep
sorry,
going. I love it. I love it. See,
another thing that
you warned me that once you were out of your shell, you were gonna there's no letting go. So here we go.
another thing I'm really excited, I'm really to showcase that I've been dying to show everyone is my system. So you might not be able to see it, but this color is in lavender, and the next page, it, this color is in green and red and blue.
All right. So what's the system? You have to explain what we're looking at here.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So this system that I currently show everyone is my helpful ways of helping me stay organized. And why I do this is this system with the different color system helps prioritize my task from the most urgent to the least urgent. Say, for example, if something is in red, that means this task, this project needs to be handled ASAP. I need to collab with my team, need to collab with my team on how we will tackle this. And something like lavender is something that's on the calmer end that it could wait till a little bit later, and it's not urgent. but still be mindful of taking care of this task. And green and green is stands for easier, close to completion, and blue is, oh snap, I need a bit more help with this. And then black is standard today's day, and so I don't forget.
I absolutely love that. I love that. I am nowhere near that organized.
And
That is for
post-it
sure.
notes.
I absolutely love it. And I think here's the thing is that's a strong thing, especially if you want to look into integration. Because with integration isn't always just the build, it's support. It's doing, if you're working for an integration company, a lot of times you're getting a call to have to come in and take a look at someone's space and what's going wrong, and you're kind of doing it blind into it, right? And so being able to say, hey, how can we prioritize what needs to get done so that things can still go on? You probably noticed that from the classroom situation, right? When you're dealing with classes, sometimes you got to do a quick fix so that the class can go on in an hour, knowing you're going to come back later to be able to come in and do a deeper dive, right? And so being able to prioritize that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, I love that. I love what you're, yeah, you are way, way more organized than me. So I want to also talk because you've gotten really involved in HETMA as well. We set a happy hour record based on your birthday. So talk about kind of how HETMA has helped you and involvement there and just getting into the community.
HEDMA has helped me get involved with so many things. Being a part of weekly meetings with the events committee, the happy hours, I use it is to build more of my network with people who are also in my same in we're also in the same industry that come from a different that come from different levels of AV, some in sales, some in programming, some in design and integration, some university leads, and it's a great variety of everyone here. And also podcast AV
Mm-hmm.
members as well, like
Yeah.
this one and Brave.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And I think this is one of the things we've always talked about with HEPMA is kind of being that, being, just a platform for people to, get connected, amplify themselves, but also, get that guidance and support from a community of people who are in it together, right? We all do the same thing. We understand the same challenges. We all have certain opportunities and all that. So I love that you've been able to get in and kind of jump into that. So, oh, go ahead. You look like you were
And
going to
also,
say something.
yes, and also it's a great opportunity. It's also a great opportunity to know everyone outside of our respective roles, and to get to know everyone more on a casual perspective, and to get a more insight of HEPMOCOM, ISE, all the different road shows
Hmm.
nationwide and now international with the Toronto Road Show.
Yes, yes. Global organization. So before we move on to the rapid round, I want to kind of close out your time with your internship and North American stuff with Northwestern. I mean, so now when you know when you go there, and I already asked you a little bit like why a school should host something like this, but what were those takeaways? I know you met Troy. We all love Troy Powers, but what were those life
Amazing.
lessons that you took away from your experience that you are gonna have forever?
Being effective in communication, not being afraid to ask for help when things get a little bit rough, networking effectively, the ability to grow and to improve yourself better as a professional, getting hands-on, getting more hands-on experience, and overall, the main takeaway is two main takeaways are mostly through professional development and and to not being afraid to ask questions.
I love it. I love it. I love it. They obviously did a great job running that, and you're going to be a huge and continue to be a huge asset to our industry. So now the rapid round. Okay, so the rapid round here is that there are no right or wrong answers. There's questions that mean absolutely nothing, unless, maybe I have an opinion of my own. You might have a wrong answer. But everybody gets the same first question. Your first time on the podcast, same first question. And that is, what is your favorite college tradition? Colleges are all about tradition. What is your favorite college tradition?
My favorite college my ooh man, there's so many. So I'm trying to trying to think off the top of my head. It's hard to choose just one college like college tradition.
You can have multiple. We're free flowing here.
I would say our favorite college tradition is seeing ah sorry sorry
There's
please
no right or wrong answer. Go for one.
my favorite college tradition my favorite college tradition is when football season comes around, and also and I ah and thankfully have having family that went there kind of gave me I kind of had a little sneak peek of what they experienced
Mm-hmm.
and what I kind of experienced vaguely.
You know what? I love. By the way, tailgating, football, college. That is one of the top answers. See, you're right aligned with everybody. That is one of the more popular answers. So that is good. All right. Next rapid round question. I always have to ask about food because because I love food. And so let's say I come back out to Chicago and we meet up. Where are we going? What are we eating?
Chicago style deep dish pizza. We have a Giordano's right in downtown Evanston, and we also have Lou Malnati's. And there's so many different food options outside of Chicago, throughout the Chicagoland area. Specific Specifically when you get a little bit north of the city or in the loop, so many different great pizza spots, and then within Evanston, we have Gigio's downtown, and also and the Tavern Lodge in Wilmette.
All right. All right. You know what? I will accept the pizza. There's a debate as to which is the correct pizza, Chicago or New York or whatever. So,
Chicago.
Chicago, you're going to stand by it. I don't blame you. All right. Next up, then. So, one time I was on the Northwestern campus, I got to tell you, that is the longest campus ever. Like, it's not what it's just. So, what is the secret sauce to get from one side of campus to the other as fast as you can?
Our team scooters and bikes.
So even
And having long legs really helps.
yeah, just because you got to book it there. I was so surprised when Troy was given the tour. I'm like, will this thing ever end? Like no, it feels like forever. All right,
We're
all
just
right.
mostly the Evanston side. We also have a whole Chicago campus as well.
Where downtown?
Yes,
Okay,
there's also that, but but we stick within Evanston.
yeah, that's the real one, right? That's the real one. All right.
Yes,
Okay. Next, we are a little behind the scenes. We are recording this on St. Patrick's Day. I've got
and
my
I'm wearing
dub.
green
You're
today.
wearing green. I've got my Dublin City University where Justin works hoodie on here. So I guess we got to start with what do you're wearing green, but what is your any good St. Patty's Day traditions for you? What do you do? The food? Do you do what? Talk to me.
The first trip was to the first trip was seeing the river turn green downtown across the loop,
Oh
and then
yeah.
yesterday going a little bit south into the city via the Rock Island Metro train was to see the Southside Irish Parade on Beverly.
That's
A,
right. You all have Irish traditions there.
a super underrated neighborhood in Chicago, and the most I encounter is the people in different pubs and restaurants and having and had a really long conversation with a guy with his teaching career, and gave us some advice of gave us some word of advice for us to implement when now that we're a little younger, and for us to take through when we get older.
And what
For
was it? What was the advice?
the advice the advice was to the advice was to never be afraid of one never be afraid of change. Ne- don't ever be afraid to want to change for the better, and never get comfortable. If you get comfortable too long, you will be lazy. You can become lazy, and that will mess you up in the long run. You need
Hmm.
growth. Never being a being a never ah excuse me. Main takeaway: change is a good thing.
I love it. I love it. And that is such a true statement. Because I think that that growth mindset is just huge and for long term success. So I will agree with that. I love that. I love that. All right. Next little rapid round thing here um, is so we set the happy hour record on your for your birthday, not on your birthday, but for your birthday, which is in August. So now, what is your favorite out of the happy hours? It went over 8 hours. Favorite happy hour moment. Favorite moment with Hetma.
Excuse me. My favorite moment with Hetma is just seeing everyone laugh and sharing their drinks, and just talking with everyone, and mainly just having a really relaxed and casual setting of simply just having fun and talk of our day-to-day lives in our respective universities.
Love it. All right, now when you were on your internship, next wraparound question, you're there with Troy. Tell us something quirky about Troy that we don't know.
Hmm. See, seeing seeing his variety of Washington Nationals hats that coordinates with his attire for today, and I'm not sure if anyone else knows this, but seeing seeing him rep Nationals no matter what, and being against Bryce Harper.
Oh, that's a good one. And by the way, we do know about his hat. I have noticed the coordination of hat color to attire. So yes, agree with you there. Okay, last rapid round question. Now
One
this
more
one's a. Oh, go ahead.
to add into that,
Go.
it kind of
I need
reminds
more.
me of when I lost my Kyle Schwarber, who was with the Cubs, now with the Phillies. Kind of reminds me, and I love Kyle
Hmm.
Schwarber when he was in Chicago, but I don't like seeing him with the Phillies. No, nothing against the Phillies. I just want him back in as a Cub.
Yeah. See, I'm an Angels fan. See, so I got Mike Trout, and then of course, I had a good thing. Poor Trout. Like, you guy's never gonna win a title, and the man deserves one, and he
And
ain't gonna
Shohei
get one.
Ohtani was with
I
the
know.
Dodgers, and he got a ring.
Yeah, I know. 1 year. Switch 1 year. We had Otani and Trout together. Should have been it. Should have done it, but it didn't. But that's what happens when you're an Angels fan. All right. All right. Last one. Now, this is a tough one. Last rapid round, and it's not really rapid. It's kind of, you get a minute. Okay. So you have 1 minute. It's just give me a minute section here to talk about anything you want. You can pretend this podcast is yours. If you hosted your own show and said anything you want, you get 1 minute and your time starts now.
Okay. So, oh, so the thing. I have a question. I have a question for you, Joe.
Oh boy. Okay.
What is your overall favorite thing about AV? What is your favorite project?
Oh, favorite project or thing. Well, okay. Those are two different things.
Start with
So
project.
all right, project. It has to be the USC project we did. It's still the gold standard in all of AV, and putting you see in every classroom before the pandemic when no one would have thought to do it and all that. I mean, that's the reason why all these awards are behind me. So that was definitely it, without a doubt, project. My favorite thing, though, is founding the Prism Scholarship. That's the one that I know will live on forever. And that really gives meaning behind everything. So, and to be able to use my platform and our organization of HETMA to do that and create opportunities for others. So there's two sides of it, project and thing. So there you go. How was that for an answer?
That's a pretty solid answer.
All right, all right. So you make a good host. See, every now and then someone turns it around on me. Not very often, but you did good with that. So, all right, I like that. And last and most important question: how can people get a hold of you and connect with you? I will put the link to your LinkedIn in the show notes. But how can people connect with you in case they want to, of course, hire you, and of course, just get to know you better?
You can connect with me through my professional email at Ace Hazziez 847 at outlook.com, all lowercase, and also to shoot me a quick text so my security thing doesn't go off every 5 seconds. I need to figure out how to disable that. Is contacting me through my phone number at 773-412-7621.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
The easiest way of reaching me is through Outlook. I check Outlook every day. I have Outlook everywhere on my computer, on my phone, and my iPad, and my other phone that I also keep Outlook in. There's never a software that I have without Outlook.
All right. So you're a Microsoft fan then, are you?
I also have Gmail.
All right. All right. See, I mean, because those could be fighting words. Whether you app. All right. So now, all right. I thought Rapid Round was over, but now it's not. Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Okay. See, that's the right answer.
Everything I use is Mac except for gaming.
And then, okay. What is the game you're into right now?
The game I'm into, I'm mostly a Nintendo guy with a side of PlayStation for fighting games.
All right.
And then I'm getting into PC gaming. And unfortunately for Mac is very limiting when it comes to PC games. Thankfully, newer Macs are able to run Minecraft, which that is my go-to PC game. Favorite game to play on PC because that actually Minecraft kept me into integration.
I see that because you're building blocks of stuff. I see where you're going with that.
With survival mode being your time limit projects and the more harder projects, while creative is more on the lenient projects and more time consuming.
All right, I got that. See, this is bonus content at the end. Hopefully, people don't stop because sometimes by this point, people think I'm ending it. No, hopefully, you're listening for the bonus content. This is great. This is now the point where I start to end the show, and here we go. Just so everyone knows, Ace, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was quite a pleasure, and of course, everybody. If all the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our respective institutions, any company sponsors, or anyone who wants to sue us. And if you did not enjoy these opinions, there might be better ones next time. Thank you all for listening. Hold on tight.
Oh.